Hello and welcome to my GM overview for Rusthenge, a new standalone adventure for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. For those new here, my adventure overviews are divided into two parts. In this first video, I will discuss the themes and general story of the module, but it will be objective in tone and a little light on spoilers, especially regarding the adventure's final act. This is so GMs can get an idea of what the adventure is about, but not spoil so much that they wouldn't be able to enjoy the adventure as a player should they watch this and then decide not to GM it themselves. My second video will be for those GMs who want more information. There, I will present my personal thoughts about the adventure, as well as full context for parts of the story that are missing from Part 1. In the Part 2 video, I will also be answering questions that are posted to the comments section here. And before I start, I should also mention that Paizo did provide me a copy of this adventure. Rusthenge is a standalone adventure by Vanessa Hoskins that takes players from 1st to 4th level over 3 chapters. The adventure takes place along a stretch of coastline in New Thassalon known as the Kindred Coast, which is home to a pair of villages, one of which, Osprey Cove, worships Caden Kalian, while the other, called Iron Harbor, worships Gorham. The themes of this adventure include New Thassalon, including a lot of its rich history along with rune lords, Zor Azmak, the demon lord of rust and decay, dungeon delving, and urban investigations. The adventure begins in Osprey Cove with the players learning that some kind of disaster has fallen upon the nearby village of Iron Harbor. A soldier from the Goramite village has washed ashore near Osprey Cove, his armor heavily rusted and hanging onto life by a thread. With his final words, he warns that something sinister has happened to Iron Harbor. With this limited information, the players set out for Iron Harbor to investigate. The first chapter details their journey up the coast and includes a few typical low-level encounters with monsters, as well as some environmental challenges like crossing a bridge that has fallen into disrepair. Eventually, the players will reach Iron Harbor, where they are greeted by a suspicious town guard and note that a ship flying the flag of Rune Lord Bellamarius called the Swordfish is docked at the village. Sensing something is amiss, the players can begin an investigation. The adventure provides a random rumor table as well as a few prominent locations within the village, as well as the Thessalonian ship docked in the harbor that the players can use to gather more information. This investigation leans more towards social encounters using diplomacy and possibly stealth to sneak around a location to gather evidence rather than head-on fighting, but the trail should ultimately lead the players to the village's temple to Gorham called Stonehome. There the players learn of some startling truths about the priests and clergy living there and continue their investigation at a set of ancient rune lord spires called Rusthenge. The adventure continues with the players arriving at Rusthenge to discover it's not simply a ring of tall, rusted metal spires, but there is an underground structure as well. An ancient laboratory and workshop dedicated to forging sky metal. This begins a dungeon crawl with about 20 rooms for the players to explore. Ancient constructs, evil cultists, and even a few traps will need to be dealt with before the players discover that the dungeon extends deeper into a temple dedicated to Zor Azmak, the demon lord of rust and decay, and, even deeper still, into a series of tunnels that brush against the upper reaches of the Darklands called Despoiler's Deep. This area includes another dozen or so chambers for the players to explore before eventually discovering the ultimate villain of the story and prevent their attempt to resurrect Zor Azmak. As is my custom, I don't want to go into heavy spoilers for the conclusion of the adventure during this first video of the adventure overview, but a few of the dangers players will need to overcome here include werebats, darrows, and of course more traps before they can disrupt the resurrection ritual and save both villages of the Kindred Coast from ruin. So there you have it, a very brief overview of the events that are found in Rusthenge for prospective GMs. Again, I will be following up this video with another video that shares my personal take and opinion of the campaign, so be sure to share any questions you have in the comments section and I will try to address as many of them as I can. Just keep in mind that I have not played this adventure, I've only read through it, so I may not be able to answer some things such as encounter balance. The next video will also discuss some of the spoiler material I omitted from this video. And as always, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who supports me, whether that's by clicking the like button, subscribing to the Patreon, or subscribing to this channel. Thank you for all of your support. With that, thanks for watching, take care, and happy gaming.